It's the 16th of March and it's Alton Towers opening day. Join me in this video as I check out all of the latest updates around Alton Towers and head back on some of my favourite rides from SMILER to Oblivion to 13. But most importantly, checking out all of the winter works that has been happening here at the Alton Towers Resort. I've already posted Nemesis REBORN's opening day vlog, so go and check that out. We explore the brand new Nemesis here at Alton Towers. It was such a great time getting back on Nemesis in the dark and in the daytime as well. Such a good day. So we're going to start off here on Tower Street, check out the updates and make our way around Alton Towers Resort in 2024. It feels so good to finally be back in Alton Towers and on Tower Street once again. Of course, Alton Towers was open for the Pirates Takeover event, which included Mutiny Bay and also Sea Bibby's Land. But it's so great to be back today and finally getting on some of the thrill coasters. SMILER, Oblivion. Can't wait to see the updates over towards Dark Forest. Rita's been jet washed. Galactica's been jet washed. There's been some changes to 13 and apparently the SMILER has gotten a little bit of work done, and we know for sure that Oblivion has got some work done with new signage, a bit of a repaint as well. So very excited to check all of that out today at Alton Towers. The weather is not great. Luckily it held out for us earlier on when we rode Nemesis REBORN for the first time. But honestly, it's just so great to be back here on Tower Street, back in Alton Towers once again for the 2024 season. This park is definitely going in the right direction. It's under the divisional direction of Bianca as well, which made loads of changes this season. We've got new events, potentially new zoo scare mazes, and loads of updates to cover here from the resort. Honestly, I love the little Phalanx suits the frogs are wearing. They had little pirate costumes on for Pirates Takeover as well. But we're going to head over to X Sector first and kind of make our way around in a circle around Alton Towers and then end up back on Tower Street this evening. It's 10 AM to 8 PM the opening hours today. Some lovely opening hours. Going to get some late night rides already this early on in the season, the first day. The fields are off bounds at the minute because they are very, very muddy indeed. You've got some nice Alton Towers flags which look very nice as well on there on those trusts. Wait, what? What are those Sea Bibby's Land blocks up there? That's definitely had a rebrand. When I used to watch Sea Bibby's, they were like these little cute little blobs. Now they're like squares? What? What's going on there? Spinball Whizzer has made a return this season. Of course, it hasn't been removed. It looks like it's had a little bit of work done, so we'll go and check it out. It could just be that we're in the rain. I'm not too sure, but it does seem as though Spinball Whizzer has received a little bit of jet washing work. It's currently on a 50-minute queue here at Alton Towers. It's 20 years old this year, opened back in 2004. Definitely needs more work done in the future, I think. Nice little re-theme, some more theming to go in places. But you can kind of tell when they've jet washed it because the paint slowly fades as well. We'll head to X Sector now. All of the hospitality suite has now gone back to normal. Of course, it was used for Dad's Games, for Scarefest. Oh, Nemesis, she's back with a vengeance. That advert was awesome from Alton Towers. Here's the SMILER though. Tell you what, it looks very clean. Has it had a jet washed? Or does it just look very shiny because of the rain? It looks like these could have had a jet wash potentially. The SMILER. There it goes. It'll be turning 11 years old this year. It hasn't opened yet, unfortunately. It's having some technical issues. But it looks like the Marmalizer has received a little bit of work. Look, those look really yellow. I don't remember those being that yellow. That's not to say that the ride's looking brand new though, especially considering that the shop or station hasn't received any work. It looks like pretty much nothing has happened to that shop / station. Still looks in a pretty poor condition. There you go, there's a little update. Looks like these white lines are new or potentially been jet washed, which look very nice. Very clean, very fresh. And there's a new electrical box there. Not too sure what that's for. All these white lines though are looking really fresh. Definitely new or definitely been jet washed. So I don't remember them looking this white. I don't even remember them being there if I'm honest. So here's a look at the area that used to be home to... It's crazy to think that this was literally a fun fair down here. Now it's all just block paving. Look how big this area is. It shows you the size that Alton Towers have to play with now for a brand new flat ride. There's got to be a flat ride in this area. They can't just put tables and chairs. It'd be a total waste of space. So it's definitely in the next few years, potentially even as soon as this season or next season, definitely a working space for a new flat ride. It's only a 50-minute wait for Oblivion, not too bad. But I tell you what, it's so nice to walk around this queue and not hear or see Mixtape or spin jam. All of these rocks here have been jet washed. Looks very nice, or slabs of concrete rather. I don't think these are jet washed. Yeah, you can actually get some good views here actually from where you drive up here at Alton Towers. That's the road where you kind of drive in. TV is still off, unfortunately. Nice little repaint of a fence down here, painted it all black. Seems Alton Towers had a little bit of leftover paint from Forbidden Valley. Decided to use it on Oblivion. Fair play. Jet wash. Just had my first ride of the 2024 season on Oblivion, the B&M dive coaster here at Alton Towers. A very good ride, very efficient in getting the trains sent out on there, absolutely pumping out the trains. Some of the queue line has been painted up, or jet wash, and then when you get towards the station, some railings have been painted up in there as well. These little details do make a big difference to just the overall look and aesthetic of the ride. Aesthetic, there we go. And when you enter the station, when you've just finished the ride on the brake run, there's a brand new sign that's gone in there. I know this is exciting as it gets, and it says unbuckle your seatbelt, and it's all lit up. There's a little LED bar light at the top for when it closes dark, like today at 8 o'clock. So just make sure that people can unbuckle their seatbelts, and it makes the queue go faster. I did not queue 50 minutes in that queue, and that could be due to the sign. The sign makes all of the difference. All of the exterior of the arcade has all had new signs go into place, which looks very nice, and these pillars have all been painted black as well, and they've got a new Excite and arcade station words and paint or whatever on there. It's not paint, it's a sign, and they've got these new boards up as well, just giving the arcade a new lease of life, just making it look that little bit fresher. Maybe some upgrades could come on the inside in the next few years. That would be very appreciated in the Oblivion arcade. They've painted all of the round hole orange there. It looks really very atmospheric there. You've got the orange sort of exterior of the hole. I tell you what though, the Oblivion track could do with a little bit of painting, couldn't it? Even the grey is starting to look a bit scratched up and old. They've also, some of the signs around the donut shack there have also been redone the other side. And up there you can see some permanent lighting, yes! Slowly getting rid, slowly phasing out the generators here at Alton Towers. There it goes, Oblivion at Alton Towers Resort in 2024, looking very fresh. Hopefully these upgrades continue throughout the 2025 season, 2026 season, to make it look as good as it possibly can. Also, all the sirens around here are working as well. Heading out of X Sector, and you've got Hex, the Legend of the Towers. And it's still closed. I feel like this is deja vu here to the 2023 season. Constantly coming to this area like every week and saying it's closed. Literally no updates to cover. But actually there is an update to cover in 2024, because you've got these signs that I've got up. Hex main entrance, ride access pass, and the fast track entrance. These have all gone up. These are all new for 2024. The restriction board's still out here. You've got the information board as well, but the doors do remain closed for Hex yet for another season. However, it has been confirmed that it will reopen in 2024. Very exciting. And we do know there has been some new effects put in there as well, which is very exciting indeed to see the new effects. They've got some new lighting in the queue line, and we don't really know what to expect really on the actual ride and all the pre-shows itself, but we do know that there's some new lighting effects inside the queue line for Hex, which is very exciting. Can't wait for it to reopen. It's time to head in the Dark Forest here at Alton Towers, the home of Intamin, Rita, and 13. The ride access pass queue for Rita is huge. Once again for another season, they've had to extend it out with all of these barriers down here. Crazy. Fast track is on the other side, and you've got the main queue under the actual launch itself. We'll head down. It's a 60-minute wait for Rita. I don't think I'll be riding it today. To be honest, I came mostly for Nemesis Reborn, and even there, I didn't think I'd get on it till like at 6 o'clock, but I came here very early to make sure I could get it out of the way and then come explore the rest of the park. 13's also on a 60-minute wait as well, so I'm not too sure whether I'll do that today. But we'll try and do it a bit later on maybe, because I believe there has been some updates over at the station, and we believe that some of the tiles that make up the 13 station have been replaced. If you remember last season, it was all sort of peeling off, but we believe that they've actually fixed that and restored some of the old bricks that are on the 13 station, which look like bricks, but really they were just like these stick-on sort of, I don't know, like fiberglass. Right, I think we're going to head out of 13 now in the Rita area and kind of head over to the Sky Ride and the dungeons, talk a bit about that, and then head round to Katanga Canyon. But what's not looking in a good state, and what's looking, oh, puddles, in a dire state, is the Sky Ride here at Alton Towers. This won't be opening for the whole of the 2024 season. It's looking in a very dire state. You've got chains hanging down there. There's none of the sky carts or the actual gondolas itself have been on there. And the ride manufacturer Poma, if I said that right, is working with Alton Towers to try and get it up as a multi-million-pound project. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with it and whether the upgrades will actually be noticeable or whether it's more to do with the infrastructure and like technical side to the Sky Ride. We'll have a closer look now. Yeah, you can definitely tell that Rita has been jet washed from this angle. Looks much redder, but yeah, the Sky Ride, all chains dangling down here. The gondolas are nowhere to be seen. But this area is definitely looking tired. Like all this could do with a repaint. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see that ready for next season, 2025. But actually looking in a dire state. Shame to see really that it's got to this point where they've had to close it for 2 years. Like really, no ride should be closed for 2 years, standing but not operating, realistically. And it's a shame that it's come to this point where Alton Towers have had to invest millions of pounds to get it back up and running. Whereas if they just invested a little bit into maintenance each year prior to this, then they wouldn't be in this situation. But all of the outside up Tower Street has actually all been repainted, the signs have been redone. So it looks like they planned to kind of open it this season, but it looks like something has gone wrong and they've got Poma, the ride manufacturer, in to try and fix that. But there we go, the Sky Ride closed at Alton Towers for 2024. It looks like these signs have all been redone as well. Shame to see that they won't be in use this year. The Alton Towers dungeons will be closing this summer for a brand new Scarefest attraction, which I'm very excited for. The dungeons were introduced many years ago here at Alton Towers, and their popularity never really increased because it was an upcharge attraction. You actually had to pay to go in it. So on top of paying to come to the theme park, you also then had to pay for the dungeons as well. It just didn't really make sense. And due to that, it didn't really take off, and the dungeons have kind of just been left there for the years. And you can see they're actually on today. Where is it? There? Yeah, you can kind of see it now. They've got like fire going on, so they are on today and they are operational, but it just never really picked up in popularity. And this summer it will be closing to make way for a new Scarefest attraction, which is very exciting. There's loads of potential that they could potentially do with the dungeons. Like they've got the boat ride at the end as well, potentially incorporating that into a scare attraction. There's loads of potential. I'm not going to talk about it too much now. I think I'll do that in a later video and just talk about what potentially they could actually do to the dungeons, because there's a lot of potential with it. But it's closing on the 19th of July, I think, is the last day that you can book the dungeons for on the website, and until sort of Scarefest time, it'll be closed. And I think that's just, you know, just basically screaming to us, this is the last season of the dungeons, unless it reopens in 2025. But with Project Horizon going to be in this area, it won't really make sense for the dungeons to be here. So it makes sense to sort of call it its last season, make a Scarefest attraction out of it, and then just knock it down and close it forever. It makes sense. And I wouldn't be surprised nowadays if it actually costs more to run the dungeons with all the actors, all the effects in there, than they actually make in terms of getting people on there and the revenue they make. So not surprised at all. I believe the dungeons will be closing this year forever. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Unless they incorporate it in the park and make it a free attraction, or make it free for Merlin annual pass holders, because even if they have a Merlin pass, you still have to pay to go in. Heading out of the dark forest and heading over to Wickerman now before we head to Katanga Canyon and potentially get a ride on Wickerman. Do want to do that today. Nemesis, can you believe Nemesis is newer than Wickerman now? That just sounds crazy to say. Anyway, it looks like there's been a lot of work going on in the gardens this close season. We'd like to go down there in the summer. I think it's a bit too muddy at the minute to go down and explore. Wickerman is back at Alton Towers for 2024 and it looks great. Now Alton Towers did confirm that the flames would be making a big return. However, I've seen a train go round and the flames haven't been on. So I'm not too sure whether they had some problems getting the flames back up. But we'll see, because that train that went round was a test train. It seems they're having a few problems with Wickerman at the minute. So we'll see how that goes and see whether the flames are actually back on Big Bob. He's looking very good though. You've got the fire all around the sides on the poles as well. And there's actually quite a few updates to cover from Wickerman. We've now got a test seat, so we'll take a look at that. And there's actually been some shelter erected all around the side of the queues, including the fast track and accessibility, and also a little bit of the main queue as well, which we'll take a look at once we join the queue. I'm not too sure when I'm going to join it though. Seems it's having a few technical issues at the minute, so I'm not too sure sort of when I'm going to join it. It's got some empty trains going. Yeah, it didn't seem the flames are going off there, unfortunately, even though it was confirmed that they will be coming back. Maybe they're having a few issues, I'm not sure. One of the first updates here to cover from Wickerman is that we've had a permanent lighting pole installed, which extends all the way up there, and they've got orange cover lights on, as you can see there. Like, can you see those orange films that cover the lights? It will make the white lights orange, which will go very well with the Wickerman theme. There is a test seat just over there as well, so you can actually test yourself, just in case you want to check that your size is right before you actually go onto the Wickerman itself. And it's also been put undercover as well, which is very good. Heading around to Katanga Canyon then, and the Congo River Rapids, there's actually some very nice updates to cover here. It's not actually on today, but all of the trough around the whole ride has actually been jet washed, and you can see some of that there. Oh, look how nice and new that concrete looks. It looks very, very nice, but fortunately it's not open today, and I would like to see this ride get a bit more love and attention. It's just stuff like this, like the dangling wires, that just ruin it a little bit, and the theming does look quite old, or the lack of theming actually. Look at that, I mean, just a platform there. There has been some new fencing all around though, and there's a new wooden hut over there as well, which we'll check out. And because the water level here is lower, you can kind of see more of the jet washing that's happened, which looks great. Hopefully they can do that with more of the ride layout, and fingers crossed the wave machine can come back at some point. But some more water effects would be very nice. Maybe like some water going across, like over the top, kind of like the Adventure Cove River Rapids at Drayton Manor has. Just some more interactive features throughout the ride layout would be very good. You've got a little viewing hut for the employee or ride operator that stands there to make sure you're sitting in your boat. That's all new. Last year they literally had like a wooden deck chair that was there, so they've upgraded now to have a little wooden hut, which looks very nice. If it rains for the employee, they can sit under the hut. More of that jet washing work there on the Congo River Rapids as we head round to Curse at the Alton Manor. Oh, this guy's doing hard graft, pulling that up here, pushing rather. Look at that, hard graft, hard graft. Curse at the Manor is currently closed, so we'll come back to it a little bit later on. There has been quite a lot of temporary delays here at Alton Towers, but to be fair, most of the rides have actually been up and running, so credit where credit's due, I guess.